action. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a little delayed. So I started laughing. Man.
Hey, fellow podcasters, we're back. Read, Watch, and Wine, bringing it to you. I'm Raya. Treava.
Champagne.
Lynn.
And we are coming back today to discuss the 1990 version of the movie The Handmaid's Tale. Screenplay was written by Harold Pinter. The novel, of course, we talked about earlier, by Margaret Atwood. And the producer of this movie is Daniel Wilson. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So it's interesting that, we came across this movie because I know none of us had
never heard of it.
There was an earlier
Not I.
movie. So I'm so glad that we got a chance to watch it. I just absolutely hated this movie. It was created in 1990, so some of the things in it, I was so shocked. There was no diversity in the movie, except for when they were.
No, there was diversity. All the Negroes were separated off, and we never saw them again.
Well, I know, right? And that's just so interesting because they didn't talk about race at all in the movie I can recall.
No, I don't remember it either.
at all.
I don't remember.
But yet the movie took the liberty to
Point that
show
out.
black people being put into those trucks, right? Weren't they all shoved into
They were catted off. Just like the other ones were catted off too. It was just very weird how they just completely separated the black women and men away. It wasn't like the men were separated. They were all taken away together.
Right.
But then in nowadays we have cinematography, whatever that word is. Cinematography.
Great job.
I fumbled that a few times. That makes the difference in dynamic aspirations of a movie. But back then, they didn't really have those dynamic ways of showing a movie versus a book.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that was a added part that they kind of gave in to give us a little bit of history, or could be a foreshadowing of what could happen. So I think it was made purposely for the movie to add a dynamic level.
Get it. I don't know. I was looking at it from a different perspective. I feel like it was 1990. There was still racial tension in the country. And the normal for movies is to portray blacks in that type of role and that type of a suppression type role. And so I just felt like it was a natural for the writers and producers to do that with African Americans.
What about the eye?
But I don't know.
What about the eye?
What eye?
Like the eye.
Remember the all-seeing eye that was every time they
did anything was
watch TV or something?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It's kind of creepy because that was not in the book at all. It was no indication.
I think though in those times people probably were talking more about it, and so maybe that's how it made it seem like always being watched wherever you are. Because that's a good point.
Right. Good point. Because I know in the series, they made it. They said they had a phrase that made it seem like they're always watching. The spies. Under his eye. So that's their way of portraying under his eye. I'm thinking maybe
from the old.
Yeah,
so that's where they got that from. Okay. So you think that was a way of saying under his eye?
Yeah.
Well, it was the opposite under.
Pick up what you're putting down. I get you.
Get what I'm putting down. Get what I'm putting down.
The overthinking is going over to you now.
It is. I can't stand it. Don't listen to me.
You're welcome.
That's really interesting because I never thought about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's what they took from having that. What they saw in the 1990 movie, because whoever did this one obviously looked at the 1990 movie. Yeah,
right,
I don't know.
Right. They would have to for research
and just the way that they portrayed it. I mean, it stuck to the book as it relates to kind of just ending. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The book. It definitely is more true to the book. I hated this 1990 version. I feel like, and I hated the book, unfortunately. I feel like if it wasn't for the series, I would be completely lost. And why would I watch this? Why would anybody watch this? If it wasn't for the series. I love the series, but it just shed so much light on giving it more. It added more to the story that made it more interesting.
Right. It embellished the backstory.
Yeah.
So it gave us more depth.
Right.
In the character. But I do feel like the characters in the 1990 version stayed true to the ages of the folks that were portrayed to me in the book. I saw the people as I was reading the book. I saw them much older.
Yes.
So I could picture them as those 1990 characters.
That's true, because I think the commander, that was dead on, because it was supposed to be. He was supposed to be repulsive to me. Like, you know, you're not attractive. Like the new one. Sorry, Robert.
The ball.
Right. Sorry about that, Robert. You're not repulsive. I'm just saying, in the movie you played perfectly, but the series, the commander was attractive.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you can come get it.
Well, and then Robert Duvall was an older man. I mean, and I know that they made him look a little older, but you're right. I think he was more true to character.
What do you mean they made him look older?
Well, he seemed. I mean, they put an older character, which appeared to be an older character in the role.
Yes.
And you're right. It aligned more with the storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I like the Serena Joy in the series
I do too.
more than I liked.
Faye Dunaway?
I mean, I love Faye Dunaway.
No, the series.
I thought she did so well.
She did. Yeah.
I mean, she
her
does
as
play
the person in
crazy
the
well. You're right.
Yeah, she does play crazy well.
Yeah. I could just see her.
Do that
He's my husband.
Stay away.
I loved her.
Who was waiting for a wire hanger to come out?
Me, I'm definitely waiting for the wire hanger, or at least that facial expression.
Right. So, I mean, she does do crazy well, but I don't know. I really love Serena Joy in the series. She does crazy.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
too. But I think just based on the time, I think for the 90s, I think they picked the perfect people to play those roles.
Yeah.
But what if you saw it in the reverse order? You saw the 1990 version first before watching the new series.
I don't know. I'm wondering how I would have reacted.
If I had seen the 1990 version I probably would never watch the series.
Exactly. I agree.
Because in my mind, I would never have thought that they could have come so far that I would have actually been interested.
Yeah.
Because the book was nice reading. The movie in the 90s was very hard to swallow. Like, I was like, wait. But I liked the actors, but it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and it just could be because, you know, we're in now 2019 and the acting is much better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
And then you can relate more to it. Like, I could look at the series now and I could picture myself in it because of the diversity. I mean, one of the main characters, Moya.
Yeah.
She's black in the series.
Right.
But there were no main significant characters in the 1990 movie that I could relate to. And I find that I have that issue with a lot of older movies. Like, when you just can't relate to them at all.
Right, Hollywood.
It's like don't exist.
I don't know, because I was Olivia Newton-John in Grease, so I don't think I have a problem with that.
But back to reality. I really don't think that all movies are made to relate to. Mm-hmm. Some of them are made to be fictional, detached stories. Mm-hmm. So I feel like in 1990, this was made to be a fictional, detached story, but it could possibly happen. It might not be a today in our lifetime, but still a tangible story that you were watching, not living in.
Yeah.
So that's why I was able to relate to it.
But so, like, in theory, you could feel like it could possibly happen, but watching that television show...
Nah, I'd have been dead early.
Yeah. The television show, I'm just like...
Movie, I'd have been dead.
I want to watch some paint dry right now.
Yeah, basically.
But I think that in the 90s, that's not something that I would have ever believed could have happened. I mean, now as you see
true.
What's going on in the world right now, I could see it happening. Maybe not with me, or, you know, you never know what could happen with you if people put you in a certain situation. I just know it would be a lot of penisless men around before they got to the part where I was able to...
Men?
She did.
Oh, what you got? All right.
I'm just saying. Right? I mean, because, you know, you always say, somebody say, oh my God, if I was me, I would have been dead. But, you know,
it depends on the situation.
It depends on, you know, where you are and what they do to you. I mean, I think I may do anything if I thought it was going to save one of my children.
Right.
But again, there'd be a lot of penisless men around in this society if I had to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I noticed in the 1990 movie, even though it was older and a lot less things were being shown in the theater, the actually handmade, what do they call it? The ritual? The ceremony. The ceremony. I felt like the ceremony was actually more graphic than I would have expected.
Definitely,
The 1990 movie.
Yeah.
So I was surprised, and watching that scene, I feel like it was just so much more, it was bad.
Yeah.
But I think that's how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
In the 1990 movie, it seemed like it was much more brutal.
It's supposed to have been,
and I think that it wasn't as much in this version, but it could be that they just, that wasn't something they wanted to focus on.
Yeah, because they didn't show it that often, right? As they do in the series, like the ceremony.
Right.
Because they show the ceremony a lot in the series.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. It could have a lot to do with the fact that it was Robert Duvall, and so I just was
Yeah.
kind of
Kind of put a damper on things.
Right. Exactly.
Once again, sorry
Robert.
Duvall.
But, okay, so I
How
guess...
about Nick? How about...
I love both
Aiden
Nicks.
Quinn.
I love him. I love him. I love
You
him.
love Nick in the movie, 1990 movie also?
Yes.
I agree.
I'm just a fan of his anyway.
Both Nicks.
Yeah. I'm just a fan of... He's
Because how
so...
is the pants I wasn't really
Yeah,
feeling.
Yeah, but that was doing...
The pants like went up to his breast
But he's
line.
come a long way because
And
the
he-
acting was kind of really bad. Like, I guess for me, I just watched the acting back then and I was just like, dude, like...
But he played like because Nick in the series was weird acting like that too. So maybe they...
No, it was like talking to you.
I know.
This.
Don't look at it, don't miss, don't.
Exactly. It's like if I could just speed up some of the speech,
Right.
I would be so happy.
Yeah.
True, because they were both was like that. Yeah.
So, like, the names of the characters, I'm having, like, a brain
Yeah.
fart. Alfred.
Yes.
Alfred. Was her name June in the book?
Her name was June
name was-
in the book,
I
right?
don't know where
So it was June in the book, and it was June in the current
TV series.
But in 1990, her
They
name was
decided
Kate.
to make it Kate. Yeah, I don't...
I think
Is
I'm
that
gonna have to
more
go back to look at that in the book because I really thought it was June the entire time, but we watched a movie, we could have been tricked.
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out whether
After the
I
fact.
just missed that in the book or what, because I don't understand the purpose of changing that name.
Right.
And then
How about Aunt Lydia though in the 1990 version?
I like her.
Perfect, right?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
she was perfect. I mean, I love the one in this one too, but she was just perfect.
she was more of what you pictured to me when you saw when you thought about Aunt Lydia.
Yeah, I felt like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I went back to Woodward.
Okay, and then so Offborn, her name was Jan in 1990, but that was Janine
Of Warren.
of Warren. Yeah, sorry.
Her name was Jan in the TV show?
And
I mean, the
the
movie?
1990 movie, her name was Jan.
Didn't catch that. All right.
Yeah, and it was Janine, right?
Janine, yes.
And
in
the other one.
TV
So I guess that wasn't too far off.
And, not very many people in this day and age name their kids Jan. So I think that had something to do, that had something to do with it.
It could. It could have. I just don't know how I felt about Elizabeth McGovern's character. Like, I'm so hooked on
Mora?
I'm so hooked on this Mora and the current season that
Yes.
I'm going back to what Lynn was saying.
I
like,
thought she was cute though.
if I would have saw the 1990 first, I don't know how I felt about it, but I can't get my favorite actress out of my mind. So
Yeah.
Yes. I love her too.
I really, and then I really liked all those characters though. I mean, I could picture them in 1990. I just feel like they brought them to the 20th century, 21st century for the new.
But what about the Marthas? Because the Marthas in the 1990 movie,
There's two of them.
Yeah.
They didn't have such significant roles, right? Like, it just seemed like they were kind of a little backgroundish in 1990 movies.
Yeah, I think they didn't have a significant role. But I'm glad that they had two because in the book they had two.
Yeah, they had book 2 in the book.
They didn't. They don't have that in the series.
But I think for the series, there were more role to make it a series. They had to give more background to those characters.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. To me, yeah. So I'm sad because in the book and the movie, because the book ended and it left you hanging in a sense. If the TV series didn't come out, I would be highly disappointed.
I was highly disappointed.
Yeah, I would be highly disappointed. Yeah. Right. I literally.
Didn't you waste my time reading that book?
I'm telling you, and the way it ended is ridiculous. But
I love
if it wasn't,
I mean, I did like the book.
it was okay.
Any thoughts?
I always have thoughts.
I know. I'm waiting for my deep Lynn.
No, I mean, I like the book a lot. I didn't like the ending, of course, because it was too abrupt. But the movie, I think, to have had come first, I think it was a good transition from the book to the movie.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then to make it more relatable, the storyline more relatable, the series gave more depth and relation to today's technology and today's problem in a different setting. So if I would have saw the movie first, not the series, then I would have thought that it was a good transition from the book to the movie.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the TV series, though, we got a little bit more
We got spoiled
story. Yeah.
from the storyline.
Yeah, but you have to appreciate the movie for what it was at the time it was released.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's
Not just what was going on in society, but also what was going on in what we were allowed to actually put on film, what we were actually allowed to talk about on film, body parts, all those type of things.
Yes.
We have to actually acknowledge that for 1990 versus now for 2019.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was different. It was good. It was kind of cool to go back. 'Cause you did feel like you kind of we went back in time to watch that. I thought it was really interesting, and the technology of the army, the military, and they had the little old school. It was kind of weird because it was almost like too far back, because it was almost like you had a typewriter inside of a box.
Yeah, it was like a computer. It was their version of a computer, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was
kinda
very
funny.
weird. Yeah.
So it was.
Well, yeah, but they used an old form of technology to communicate versus now in the series, they did not use any kind
Any
of
of
form
it.
of like computers.
Which I thought was cool.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
So I like that they showed that they went back on their morals, as in like they went back to what like their bases were, but then also with like technology. They didn't bring it to today in 1990. quote
And I
unquote.
think too, in 1990, because we weren't this far in technology, it was like to bring that in, it made them seem like they were all knowing. All this, all that.
exactly.
Whereas nowadays, everybody has it, so it is more drastic to take everything away because everybody has access to everything anyway.
And it's interesting the way that they take everything away, and these handmaids they put in a position where, I mean, they're technically slaves, and then they also give them like a slave name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I was there, but I'm thinking of like Offred. Sort of you take away your name, but I'm giving you a
Give
slave
the master's
name. And it's
name,
just all
in a
of
sense,
these different
yeah.
things that like push to suppressing a group of people.
Right.
Yes.
Feeling Lynnish right now.
Right.
very
Spreading.
contagious.
You're welcome.
But yeah. Anyway, okay, so I guess let's go ahead and give a rating for this movie, this 1990 version of The Handmaid. So
The transition from book to movie.
yes.
Okay.
Lynn, what do you think about it?
I give it a full glass, and I only give it a full glass because from the book to the movie, which was a 5-year difference per se, at that time, I think that they did a good job of portraying one to the other for its time.
Absolutely. This is Raya. I'm with you, Lynn. Full glass. Fill that baby up. I thought it was excellent based on that book. I mean, for me to watch that movie, it was exactly how I pictured it in reading the book. So I give
Agree.
it full glass. 2 full glasses. What do you give it?
All right, so I unfortunately will also have to give it a full glass, only because I'm basing it off of the book to the movie. If I had to give it a rating on anything else,
That's a transition.
Yes, exactly.
so the transition, I give it a full glass also.
Okay, I agree with you all, but let's just be clear. I absolutely hate the movie and I absolutely hate the book. But I hate them equally.
Right.
And so yes, a full glass for the adaptation because they definitely respected the storyline of the book.
All of you podcasters, go watch the movie.
Definitely.
Once you've read this book, go watch that 1990.
They give you a
It's
different,
so worth it.
yeah, definitely give you a different look.
So let's go ahead and do it.
That's full glass.
Full glass,
All right.
full
Cheers.
bottle.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Made this full bottle drink.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on our next podcast.
Always.
Reach out to us on our Instagram. Read, watch, wine.
Leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. What you like. What you don't like.
Or suggestions.
Yes, definitely suggestions.
We are definitely open to suggestions. If you want to send us an individual email, you can send it to readwatchwine@gmail.com. Or of course, you can always DM us on Instagram. Facebook is readwatchwine. And then, of course, you can listen to the podcast on Podbean. Thanks for tuning in.